Hello ho ho, cave dwellers. Christmas has very much arrived outside the cave, and it's been fun and games in the snow. So what better opportunity than to get cozy by the fire and catch up on some of those Christmas games that I never got to play first time around. So join me as I see what's under the tree and play 3 retro Christmas games for the first time ever. My first game then is Merry Xmas Santa, later re-released as Santa's Delivery, and boy, it didn't take long to realise what a stinker this one is. As a jaundiced Santa determined to drive green Christmas cake into his belly and add more colour to his nose by drinking red wine, your job is quite predictably to dump presents down chimneys. You need to avoid the gaps between the rooftops and make your way from the top to the bottom of the screen, progressing through the screens. There are 2 challenges to this game. One is the controls and the other is collision detection, both fundamental to any game. Clunky controls see Santa stomping across the screen, trying to time jumps which usually trigger too early or too late, and feature no animation. It's really tricky to time. More often than not, you'll perform 2 jumps by daring to hold the jump button down for more than a split second, and end up diving straight through the gaps in the rooftops, falling to a grisly death, and ruining Christmas for everyone. If you make it to the end of the level, you're rewarded for your gluttony via the belly bonus, and you progress to the next sparse and frankly dull screen. Sound is limited to a Jingle Bells ditty, and Santa stomping across the houses in lead boots, waking all the children up in his drunken, obese mission for type 2 diabetes. Every now and then a snowball needs to be jumped, or a snowman appears, but you just have to wait for them to vanish. They're hardly a challenge, and then you continue stomping on your merry way. Merry Xmas Santa scores half a mince pie and washing up duties. Stay well clear, cave dwellers. Here's an idea. Let's take one of the most violent action films of the 1980s, replace the lead character with a fish, and release it as a Christmas themed game. This then is James Pond 2 Robocod. Yep, it even features a rip-off of the Robocop theme tune. A completely bizarre concept for a game, but somehow it works. I had a lot of fun playing this one, just as I did playing James Pond 1 on the Amiga, but for some reason I never got around to playing the sequel, and here it is on the Sega Mega Drive or Genesis. Released in 1991, at the height of Sonic the Hedgehog fever, every games company was on a mission to create the next mascot or multi-million-pound franchise. An initial release to the Atari ST, Amiga and Mega Drive was later ported to everything from the Game Boy to the Acorn Archimedes and the Commodore CD32. Your mission as James Pond is to infiltrate Santa's grotto in the North Pole and save it from the evil Dr. Maybe, who's taken it hostage and is using Santa's elves for his own evil deeds. It's a bright, colourful and fun cutesy platformer, with hints of New Zealand Story, Zool, Super Mario and of course Sonic the Hedgehog. A combination of skillful gameplay and timing, as well as basic puzzle solving, are required to progress through Santa's grotto, one door at a time, until eventually, with the use of your robotic suit, you save Christmas, and the elves, or in earlier releases the penguins, are rescued and freed. Admittedly, if you're playing this on a Sega Mega Drive, there are better options in the platform genre to pick from, but for us Amiga or Atari owners, it gave us a flavour of those more console-style games that we didn't often get to enjoy on our platform. UK magazine Ace scored the Amiga version with 934 out of 1,000 points, calling it polished, playable, fun and completely excellent. And it was also sponsored by McVitie's Penguin Bars, which make an appearance every now and then in the game. I give James Pond 2 Robocod a score of 2 glasses of sherry and half a bottle of Baileys. Well worth a try for a fun half hour. Ferris has been a very naughty boy. On Christmas Eve he managed to find all of the family's presents and destroyed them. As a punishment he's been kicked out and forced to find 25 new Christmas presents scattered around C-Zone. Ferris's Christmas Caper. It was released in 1998, a surprisingly late release for the Commodore 64 platform. It was programmed by John Wells and was given away for free on the front of Commodore Zone magazine. So that gives us two problems really. Not only was it a festive based game, thereby giving it a very limited appeal, it was also completely free, so why would John put a huge amount of effort into something he'd get no return from? The result is a game of hunt the presents around a fairly small map, and you have to find all 25 before the clock runs out. And that's it. There are no enemies other than the clock, and the pea-bodied, or should that be caper-bodied, Ferris hunts around the map to a charming ditty courtesy of the Commodore 64's SID chip. Charming the first time, enjoyable the second time, a little annoying the third, and so on. The small game window allows the isometric map to scroll around quite smoothly. It reminded me a little of a very basic Toe Jam and Earl. And there's not much more to say about it than that really. You wander around hunting the presents and hoping the timer doesn't run out. Ferris's Christmas Caper then is awarded a very generous, I think, 6 Brussels sprouts. So there's 3 Christmas games from the cave I'd never played before, some I'd never heard of before, one that's worth a play in James Pond 2, and 2 to avoid unless you're glutton for punishment. Why not take a moment in the comments section to let me know what you'll be playing this Christmas, or some of your favourite Christmas gaming memories. After all, it's a magical time of year, and one that I fully associate with new computers, new games, and happy gaming memories. I'm off out to enjoy the rare treat of snow while it's still outside. As always, if you enjoyed the video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and if you want to help support new content, then take a moment to visit and sign up to the Patreon page, home of the official cave dwellers scrolling down the screen now who make this channel possible. Happy holidays everyone, take care.